Hello, good morning. I'm Philea Walker. Today we are going to be assembling the basic straight skirt. Here we have the darts. Notice I put the pin at the end of the dart on both sides. And the back seam is already stitched for the zipper to go in. Okay, you leave the opening at the top for the zip to go in. When you pull the pins apart, you'll notice that both of the darts are marked on the back of the skirt. Fold on your center line. So you fold on the center line like this, and you will stitch your dart. You're starting at the waist and come down. Okay, so we'll machine the dart from the waist to where the pin is at the 13. Remember, the back dart is 13 centimeters and the front dart is 9 centimeters long. All right, so we fold on the center line and then we stitch on the side line. Remember, you're stitching from the waist down. Okay, so there you have your dart. Okay, both darts, one on the right side at the back and one on the left side, and your center seam is stitched, so this is where the zipper is going to go. There is a recording as to how to put the zipper, but I will still show you here. This is the right side of the skirt. It will fit on the right side of your back. So you're going to come out 2 millimeters from the fitting line and pin the allowance in place. So you pin in place like that. And on the other side, which is your left side, you're going to pin exactly in the fitting line. The fitting line is where you stitch for the garment to fit you. So you're going to pin exactly there. So we normally put the zipper in before we do the sides. It's easier, you're able to work with your zipper easier like that. So you pin your zip allowance, there you have it, on your skirt. Pull down and make sure it's lying down flat. This is the right side, okay? When you make sure that's good, then we are going to put the zipper in. Okay. You can press as you go to make sure your seam allowances are lying down flat. So this is your zipper. That's the teeth, that's the tape, that's the fastener. So we're going to start at the waist of the skirt. So we put the edge of the waist with the edge of the zipper. There you have it, the two of them edging each other like that. Okay? You can pin and sew, or you can baste and sew. I'll be just pinning today, but as learners, I normally suggest you baste. All right, so we pin the fold of this skirt, where the fold is, along the teeth like that. All right, and you're going to sew from where the zipper ends down the bottom up to the waist, as near to the zipper as possible. You can change your general purpose foot and put in your zipper foot. Alright. So that is stitching the first side of the zipper. Now I'm going to cover with the left side. And you're going to be pinning the zipper from the bottom up to the waist. So we'll start down here to make sure everything is lying down flat at the base. You pin across. The fold of the fabric should be placed just where you just stitched a while ago. So you're covering that stitch line, okay? You make sure it's lying down flat. You can put it down on the table and set the bottom and make sure it's good. So we are putting the pins across. Once the pins go across, you can stitch over them. Okay, so here we have it again. Your zip is completely covered. Just where your first stitch line stops, you put the fold right there. I'm going to stitch from the bottom of the zipper and up to the waist. Do this about 1 centimeter from the fold. If you're not using the zipper foot, when you get to the top, you have to pull down so you can clear the top without bending your stitch line. So there we have the zipper completed in the skirt back. There you have it. So that's the waist at the top. Alright, so there it is, that's the back. Alright. Now I put the dart in the front already, following the same principle. So that's the front with the 2 darts. We are going to pin the zipper in allowance in place at the waist at the back. Alright, so we pin here. Make sure it's good. I see. Alright, we pin that in place. And then we're going to match the center front to the center back. Remember, we had put the mark at the center front, the center to the center. So the 2 darts now are going to be on either side, matching each other. There you have it. All right, so this is the half of the front and this is the back here. All right, if I put it all together like this, there you will have it. That's the front and that's the back. So you're going to put it right sides together. So when you sew and turn over, you will have them matching, right? So I'm going to sew the sides together now. So we make sure the waist is set properly, and then you pin and sew. You can measure over the quarter waist and the quarter hip to see if you made an error. So if there was an error, you'll be able to correct it, okay? So you pin together and you stitch from your waist down to the hem, okay? Now for the neatness, you can put your machine on the zigzag and neaten your seam. Alright, so there we have it there. So you pin your side. Now you double check before you stitch because you don't want to have to pull anything out, right? You're making sure that your waist fits, your hip fits, and your skirt will be perfect. Okay? So we're going to be stitching now the side of the skirt. Again, you can use your chalk and mark your line from the waist down so you can make sure your stitch line is good. Alright, see? You can mark your seam allowance like that. And in that case, you double check, measure over the waist, measure the hip, and make sure you're good. So if you made an error in your cutting, you should pick it up here before you stitch your skirt together. Alright, so I'm going to stitch from the waist down. Remember that if you cut your thread long, you won't be able to be threading your needle too often. Alright, now after you finish your stitching, you can neaten your seams. If you have a serger machine, you could also serge your seam. So the seam allowances should be neatened. Alright. So that's stitching the sides down. That side is down. And the other side is down. Okay. So there you have the two sides. Now you're going to turn your skirt over after you're finished neatening the seam allowances. You turn over on your right side and you'll be ready to put your waistband on. Now I have prepared the band for you already. You have how to cut the skirt and it's there, 16 centimeters wide. And you're going to fold it in half like this. So that's the 16, fold it in half. This should be the right side of the fabric. Now after you do that, you pin along the center, just like I did, okay? Then you will measure from this end in 3 centimeters. 3 centimeters and mark, okay? And from there, measure straight across to the other side, that is over here, your full waist measurement. Mark. Fold in half, matching the two marks. That is a 3 and a 1. That's in half, see? So you're matching, this is a 3 and you should have 1 left here. So you do that, fold in half, and you are to mark at the half. So you're going to clip right where the half is. There, clip the half, okay? Then you fold in quarters, the same band. Fold again in quarters. Match the points, the half to here, and you should get the quarter. And you're going to clip again where the quarters are. Remember, we work in quarters, so we're matching up the skirt. So if you put your band on and the skirt does not fit the band, you adjust the skirt because the band is made to your exact measurement. So the band is correct. Alright, so we are going to pin the dots, turning towards the center of your skirt. So you put it that way and pin it in place. So I do all the dots like that. They are turned towards the center and slightly slanted. All right. The side seam I turn towards the back, keep it closed and turn towards the back and pin it in place. So there we have it, okay. And that's the side seam, I put it towards the back. All right, so I pin all of those in place, see? Both the dots and the side seam before the band is applied. I also pin the zip allowance, which is here, in place as well. All right, now we are going to use your band. Keep it folded and the cut edge. This is your cut edge, this is your fold edge. This is a finish edge to finish the band, all right? So we take the cut edge and the bigger side of the zipper, we match first. So there it is. Okay, see? The clip out goes right in line with the mark on the skirt. It's right there, and you pin. Okay. Now, the next clip out should go and fit at the side. All right, so you're going to put it exactly where the side is, see? So that's your side, right at the side. That's the next clip out. And you cannot move the pin any at all. So you put it there and the skirt itself should be able to fit like that, if it's correct. So the next clip will go at the center front of your skirt. Good, so that's the half of your skirt now. That comes there, and again your skirt is matching. Very nice. These pins, remember, don't move them any at all. Then go and you put the next one at the other side, the next clip at the other side. So you're actually balancing the skirt to make sure that when you put your skirt on, it fits correctly. At the side, at the center back, at the front, it's not one-sided. There we have it, all right? Now at this point, because we had the 2 millimeters here, it will not fit exactly at the edge, but it will fit where the 2 clip-outs are, all right? Now after you do like that and your skirt match, then you pin the edges together. So you're gonna have 3 edges here. 1, the skirt, and the 2 for the band. You pin and you baste. You're a beginner, so you baste. The basting will hold it in place for you, but I will just stitch. But it's wise for you to baste. And remember now, you are not removing the pins that we put to hold at the quarter point on your skirt. Those points cannot change. All right? So I'm pinning everything together now. Okay. Good. So there it is now. The band is pinned on the skirt. Notice the band was put on the right side of the skirt, okay? So we're going to stitch and turn it over on the wrong side. When you're stitching, stitch on the side of the band, and you stitch only 1 centimeter. So I'm going to be stitching that now, okay? Okay, remember to put both threads to the back when you're starting your sewing. Okay, making sure my edges are together. And I'm stitching across the waist 1 centimeter, right across. It's important that you stitch 1 centimeter across because it will affect the size of your band. Some part will be wider than some. You must keep that the one. Okay, so I'm at the other side now. Remember to pull your thread long so it won't come out the needle. Caught me a while ago. Right. Now I'm going to take out all the pins and I will check to make sure my band was stitched on properly. So that's your first stitch line on the band. Alright, so let's see now. I see, so it would look like this. All right, and it seemed to be good. Now at the ends, 2 ends, you pull the zipper up and you put it over like this. All right, look at it now. This is at the end. You're making sure that the 2 ends are the same. There you have it, the end over there and the end over there. You're making sure it's the same. All right, when that's done, you know that that part is good. Now I'm going to set the end of the band for you. So pull back the zipper down. And you can look at me now. I'm going to fold the band onto the right side. So I'm on the right side of the skirt. And at this point here, right at the end, you're going to have 2 millimeters hanging over. So I'll hold that for you to see. Okay. So this is the wrong side now. So there's 2 little millimeters hanging over here. Okay, because when we turn the band the second time, we need something to stitch it on, right? Your stitch line will be straight up like this. So this side where we had the 1 extra, that's how it's going to be, and you're going to stitch it straight up. So I'm going to stitch that for you. So here you have it. The stitch line straight up, and then you turn over. I'll cut the corners afterwards. So you turn over, this comes onto the wrong side like that, and this is the right side. Okay, there you have it. All right, now the other side is done. Similar, we turn it over onto the right side like that. Okay, let's roll again. So let's look at it again. Turn over onto the right side. Remember, we are just doing the ends. This is the wrong side. Okay? That's the wrong side. You still have your 2 millimeters hanging. It must be there to catch your stitch. See? 2 millimeters hanging to catch your stitch. There you have it. Okay. You're going to open the stitch like this, the end like this. All right, look at it again now. So we're going to be opening the end so we can see the first stitch. Okay. I'll do that for you again. The band, that's the right side, that's the wrong side. You turn it onto the right side. The band goes onto the right side. Allow the 2 millimeters to hang over. All right, so onto the right side with the 2 millimeters hanging over. We're going to stitch inside here. So we have to open back here. You see where that first stitch line was? That's what we're going to be stitching on. All right. So you will stitch from here out to the end and turn up. All right. So that's where your stitch line is. All right. I'm going to stitch that for you now. And it should match the other side over here. You have to make sure they are the same size. You're making sure they are the same size. That looks good, so I can stitch. Okay, let's look how it's going to be stitched. You'll hold it flat like that, and you stitch here out to the end and up. So it's going to be an L shape there. Okay, so there we have it. From here out and then up. Out and then up like that. Okay? So I'm going to turn it over. We clip the edges and turn over. so when you turn over, your end will look like this in an L shape. Okay? So we're going to clip this one over here too. Clip this one over here to get rid of the bulb. The corner, see, across the corner, push it inside. Alright, now we're going to push the allowance. This is the allowance, push it up into the band like that. Work on the right side when you're doing this, so you can see what you're doing and make sure that the band is the same size right through. Okay. So what I have here. It's important that both sides are the same. So I'm just making sure I'm not too wide. Okay, so that seems to be all right now. So it's going to go over like that. It's going to lap over like that. So you'll have your button or your hook here to hold it in place. So what this side where the zipper is like that is right straight up like that, okay? And this side where the bigger side of the zipper is, you'll get the L effect there. See? So it looks like that. So that's what the finish should look like. All right? Now, when you're stitching, you stitch on the right side. So here we have the allowance right here. Notice the fitting line is here. So you want to make sure that point is visible. You're seeing that point. So you turn it over there and it looks like this. And you pin in place. I suggest as well that you baste before you sew. Right? Especially going across the grain like this. It's best to baste it. So there we have it, and the wrong side looks like this. Okay? Remember, you need to neaten your seam allowances. All right, now some persons stitch here at the bottom, and some persons stitch all the way around. It's optional, it's what you like. You can just stitch at the bottom here on the band, stitch on the band. And you can stitch right around if you want to finish it. All right? So after that is done, the only thing you have left to do is you finish your band right around and then you do your hem. We normally suggest you edge stitch the hem. That means you turn it once, edge stitch, and then you hem. You can watch my video on how to hem. So you would turn this like this just once. Just a bit for you. So you would stitch near to the edge like that. Turn it small, stitch near to the edge. Then you would turn your hem line, the size you have left for the hem, and you use your hand needle to hem, right? You use your hand needle. Okay, do. So that will be your hemline there. And that completes how to assemble the basic straight skirt. Okay? Happy sewing. Enjoy my videos at Ville Sewing Studio on YouTube. I'm Villa Walker. Thanks for sharing. Bye.